Hi everybody, my name is CK and welcome to another tutorial for music production. Today we take a look at the Parametric equalizer in FL Studio. The EQ is a very powerful tool and one of the most essential tools in music production, so you probably won't get around using a bunch. First of all, what does an equalizer do? So an EQ basically changes frequencies of the input signal, which is your sound. If you don't know what frequencies are, then you can imagine them as the pitch of a sound. Low frequencies have a low pitch and high frequencies have, guess what, a high pitch. But you need to know that one key on the piano has up to 10,000 different frequencies around this specific key frequency. Those are called side frequencies. So in this video I'm going to show you at first the user interface and how to use it, and then some tips and tricks for your track. By the way, you can select each part of this video in the description down below. So let's take a look at the user interface. Basically, you have two sections. On the left is the monitor, and on the right the adjustments. And also on the bottom some settings, but we get to this later. The monitor shows you the different frequencies that are played, indicated by pink-red lines for loud frequencies and slight purple lines for side frequencies that are caused by the sound like I explained before. The adjustment section allows you to change the frequencies you choose the way you like it, but again we get to this in a second. The settings are pretty much not important. The one thing that is useful is this little button. There you can change the monitor view from output to input or even disable it. It's pretty useful if you want to see the difference between the original input sound and the equalized sound. And at least you can start a state by clicking this button, then changing something and then compare it with your saved state by clicking the button next to it. So let's take a closer look at the monitor. On the top you can see some descriptions for different frequency areas. For example, the piano roll indicated by a C for each octave. And below there you have a decent overview about the so-called frequency bands. So for example, the low bass, also called sub-bass, mid-range and treble for the high end. At the bottom you can find the actual frequencies by its hertz number. By the way, 1 hertz is 1 sine wave in a second. So 1 forward, backward and back to the middle move of your speaker, which creates 1 single sound wave that you could hear. And also this frequency spectrum that you can find here is the frequency spectrum a human can hear, starting with 20 Hz up to 20,000 Hz. Next up are the adjustments. So what you can do is actually adjust those 7 band tokens to specific frequencies, or like I said before, pitches, and lower and rise the volume level of those frequencies. Depending on the band type or band order, the tokens behave different. So the band type describes the main behavior of a band token. By clicking and holding the mouse button and moving your mouse up and down, you can choose between different presets. For example, low pass, which cuts off all frequencies up to the right of the band token. Of course, all band tokens work together. This means that if you change one token, it affects the main level, indicated by the white line. So imagine you would pull this line up or down with your hands. You also can adjust the bandwidth of the token that is affected. Like I said, there are different ways you can choose an equalizer for. The first and easiest one is to shape your sound. Let's take a piano and listen to it for a second. I'd like this piano to sound more brilliant and brighter. So we take an equalizer and adjust the high frequencies, like that. And I also would recommend you to cut off side frequencies that you don't need for the sound. This gives room for other instruments or samples that actually uses those frequencies. Next one, effects. You can use the equalizer as a filter. Just select this nice little preset and create an automation over 8 bars and there you go. And even for sidechain. But we get to this in another video. Also, it's a lot used for layering samples. A great example is a kick. This one is a more difficult thing but standard for house tracks. Take a nice kick sample that you like and choose another where you like the top kick more. And at least a cool sounding cymbal. Now we cut off the top kick of the first kick sample. Then we cut off the sub kick of the second kick sample. And finally we trim the cymbal, cut off all low and mid frequencies. So there we go, a nice and individual sounding kick. At least you can use the equalizer for mastering, actually the first step before compressing and maximizing. Just give your track a balanced low, mid and high end. Then you can assure that your track is completely neutral and ready for the last and final step, the mastering. Thanks for watching. If this video was helpful for you, make sure to give a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more videos about music production or other stuff. And if you still have questions, write a comment and I try to answer them all as soon as possible. My name is CK and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.